Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new Airsoft video. Now today, we're going to be covering a subject which I get asked about in probably every single video, which is, Matt, what are those grenades you're using? So today, we're going to take a look at the entire range of grenades that you see me use throughout all of my videos, including a pretty exciting brand new grenade to the market. Now all the grenades in today's video will be linked down in the description below if you'd like to find out more information, or of course if you'd like to pick up one for yourself. Now all the grenades that you see me use in my videos are either Pyrotechnic Grenades, which means they go off basically like a small firework, or they're mechanical firing grenades, which means they use some kind of firing pin mechanism to set off a small blank firing shell. So none of the grenades I use are those kind of CO2 ones that blast BBs all over the place, which you often do see in the US. So starting off with my original grenade, this is the Swat Vtg, or Versatile Training Grenade. It's a pin operated system. You pull the pin, release the spoon, and you have 3 seconds before it detonates. Now, as I explained earlier on, this is a mechanical firing system, which means it uses a firing pin inside the grenade to hit a blank shell and then detonate. Now, this grenade can take a number of different shells. It can take 12-gram shells, 9mm shells, and my personal favorite, the small shotgun primer 209 shells. And that's simply because they're the cheapest, and the size of the shell and the volume of it makes no difference to how many kills you get with it. So, if you want to throw the grenade a lot, you may as well buy the cheapest shell on the market. So, as you can see here, I've now got the grenade set up to run 209 shells. So I simply take the shell, put it in the cap of the grenade, I then take the priming tool which comes with the grenade, push down the firing pin on the inside while holding down the spoon, which locks the firing pin in place. I then take the grenade pin, push it behind the spoon, which can be a little bit stiff at times because of course there's a lot of pressure there trying to release that firing pin. Once that's in place, that is now locked down and ready to go. As you can see there, the firing pin is pushed down well inside the grenade, and I simply now screw the cap back in, and that's ready to fire. Now for the purpose of this video, I'm going to take the primer back out so I don't blow my eardrums, but as you can see so far, this is a pretty slow process. That is, of course, one of the disadvantages of this grenade. If you want to use it multiple times during a game, it can be very annoying to get the primer back out, push that back down, reset the pin. It is a very slow process, but of course the advantage is that sense of realism. You pull the pin, release the spoon, and you have 3 seconds, which allows you to try and get that grenade as far as possible before it detonates. Now I've had and thrown this grenade around now for well over a year, and I have to say it's never failed me. It's got a very solid build with a rubber outer and a metal interior, so you can practically bounce this thing off any surface and it's not going to fail you. Now, if you are looking for a grenade that probably looks a little bit more realistic and operates more realistically, this is probably the grenade for you. So moving on now, we have the single shot setup of the TRMR impact grenade from JDAirsoft and Concept Tactical. Now, once again, I've been running this grenade now for over a year. As you can see, it does look quite a state now because it has been thrown around quite a lot, and this runs on an inertia system. So the second it hits the floor any way up, that firing pin at the top will detonate the grenade. Now the advantage of this is it has a very fast reload system. You simply screw off the base. As you can see there, I've got it set up now for 12-gram mag flash rounds. You simply slide that in, screw the top back on, and it's ready to fire. So very, very quick reload. Or of course, if you want to use 209s or 9mm like myself, you simply slide in the adapter either way round for 9mm or 209s, and you can then use those shells as well. So as I said, I like to use 209s. So you put that adapter in, drop the shell in, and it's ready to go. Now, whilst this grenade does have the advantage of a very quick reload, the disadvantage is, of course, if you want to try and slide it along the floor, get it a little bit further down range and take out somebody behind cover, you basically can't do that because the second it hits the floor, it will detonate. So you do have to be very close and personal to take guys out with this grenade. But if you do play CQB, this thing can be a lifesaver. Now, whilst I do like to use 209 shells simply because of the cost of them, you sometimes can't quite beat using a mag flash round because they're just so loud and so awesome. Check this out. Now, if you thought that was a cool grenade, next up we have the big brother, the TRMR multi-shot. Now, as you can probably tell by the state of it, this has been used a lot and is easily my favorite grenade. Now, for all intents and purposes, it's the exact same system. In fact, the upper half of the grenade is interchangeable. That's the exact same piece of kit. The difference here is the base. Now, this allows you to use 3 shots. So you simply rotate the base there. You have 1, 2, and 3, which you can reload and use very, very quickly, allowing you to use your grenade a lot of times during a game. Now, because of this rotation system, this only allows you to use 209 primers, again, which is one of the reasons I use them, so they're all interchangeable throughout all of my grenades. So as you can see there, you have 3 little holes. You simply put in your primers into that system, and when you rotate that little dial there, of course, it spins those round and puts a new primer in the way of the firing pin. To reload each time, you simply spin the top to make it safe, spin it back down again to activate the firing pin, and it's ready to go. So as you can imagine, in a skirmish, in an intense situation, having a grenade which you can reload and use very, very quickly over and over again is definitely going to give you an advantage. Now, moving away from mechanical firing grenades for a moment, I want to talk about the Pyro Grenades that you often see me use in my Milsim videos. Now, these have the advantage of being single use, so once you've thrown them, you can forget about them, and you're then not traipsing through a forest or a field trying to find your grenade. And because they're very lightweight, usually just made of cardboard and paper, you can throw them overarm, through upstairs windows, through doorways, without worrying about knocking somebody out. Of course, mechanical firing grenades are usually made of entirely metal, so you can't throw them overarm in case you hit somebody in the head and nearly kill them. Now, when it comes to pyros and smoke grenades, the company I've always used is Cloud9. The guys at Cloud9 have been kind enough to me in the past to send me a lot of explosives and smokes, which you've seen me use all the way through my Operation Sledgehammer series, and hopefully you will be seeing me use them a lot more in the future at my upcoming Milsims. Now, finally, I want to show you something pretty exciting that is brand new to the market. This was sent to me only just this week by the awesome guys down at JDAirsoft and Concept Tactical. This is their brand new TRMR E1, the new version of their impact grenade, and this one in particular has something special about it. So as you can see, this is a package and it comes in a very simple packet. Has some information here showing you how the grenade operates, how to keep it clean, and also how you can buy yourself a multi-shot base to make it similar to the grenade I previously showed you. Now, something really interesting is a photograph that I recently took of the grenade in use has actually made it onto the packaging, so that's really cool that anyone who buys a grenade now gets to see my photograph. Now, what makes this grenade so special is the fact it's actually a MattTheMusketeer limited edition impact grenade. As you can see on the front there, it's got my logo laser engraved with limited edition on the rear, so that is very, very cool. Now, the grenade itself is a single-use base, as you can see here, but as I showed you previously, you can very easily swap that out for a multi-shot base, allowing you to use 3 209s. Now, this is the new variant, which means if you buy a TRMR from today onwards, you will be getting the E1 version, which has a much better inertia system, which allows you to drop the grenade from anywhere from 30 centimeters and it will still go off, while previously it was up to 50 centimeters. Now, the grenade itself is still built from the very rugged materials we've come to expect from the previous version, although it does have a few more ergonomic properties. Those grooves at the top there allow you to get hold of it with your thumb and twist it much easier, which, if you're wearing gloves and you're sweating or it's raining and you've got mud on your hands, could be the difference between managing to prime the grenade and just holding a dud. So having those grooves there is definitely an advantage, which will make using it on the field much easier. So if you would like to find out more about the TRMRs, I have left a link to their Concept Tactical Facebook page and JDAirsoft down in the description below. Make sure you give their Facebook page a like. They often do a few giveaways for mag flash rounds and who knows, maybe one day even a grenade. So make sure you check them out. So that about wraps up all the grenades I use in all my videos. If you do have any further questions, leave them down in the description below. But in the meantime, guys, thank you for watching and I'll see you soon.